Put a little bit of the rub, nigga, I gotta be safe.
Let's get to the sports talk.
Last season after the SEC championship game, so far this season, Tua, 27 TD passes, 2 picks, and 1 operation. Looking at Alabama's next 3 weeks, this Saturday they face an Arkansas team that has not won an SEC game in 2 years, followed by an off week. FPI gives the Hogs and Idle about the same chance against the Tide. Then the game that could very well decide the West, November 9th, second-ranked LSU Tigers in Tuscaloosa. Coach Saban and his Coke bottle with an update on Tua today.
An update on Tua. The surgery was successful. There's no real timetable, for his return, but the expectation is he will be non-weight bearing for several days, and then he'll be able to come back as his rehab allows him. So we're hopeful that in a 10-day period he'll be back being able to do pretty active type rehab, and we'll see how it goes from there. But these things are pretty unpredictable at this point.
Even though Greg McElroy doesn't need to get his ankles taped for SportsCenter, he does know all about the time and preparation needed to play quarterback in big important games at Alabama. So, Coach Saban says no timetable when it comes to Tua's return. I've looked. The LSU...
Alabama be okay playing against Arkansas. It's like, Nick Saban was a good coach. He would figure out something to Tua get back for that LSU game. He get back for that LSU game, you got to make sure that ankle is better, because if they get pressure on it, he can't get outside the pocket and do anything. He got to stay in that pocket. You got to make sure that ankle is good enough to do that. He just had surgery, and that game's 20 days away. You got to make sure he's going to be healthy for that game. But Alabama got good players on that team. Like, they got another good quarterback that can hold it down until Tua be healthy. Alabama will still be a good team regardless if he out. Because they have a solid, good team every year. And this year it's the same thing. But they don't need him for LSU. LSU is a better team this year. A whole different team. He going against another Heisman quarterback. Maybe this be LSU year to take down Alabama. We don't know until Tua get back. But that defense is a different type of defense at LSU. They ain't been the same, but the offense is good, and they gonna need Tua to be there. Because you don't never can know in that LSU game. But you just got to make sure he healthy enough to get back on that field. Because if his ankle ain't ready, how you going to get outside the pocket if he can't really run? That means he got to stay in the pocket. And if it collapses and he can't really maneuver right, you can't do nothing there. That's why they want to make sure, they're trying to make sure it's going to be way by time. He just had surgery. The Arkansas game, he ain't got to rush back for that. Because they good enough to beat, Arkansas. And the next game, they going to win that too. It's just that LSU game, everybody wonder if he's going to be back for that big time game. That's going to determine a whole lot of things in the division.
Game does come with a timetable. How concerned am I about Tua?
I'm concerned. I really am. It's good to be with you guys. And I think part of the reason why, when you look at what Alabama has accomplished in the last 12 years under Nick Saban, not a single quarterback has missed a game due to injury. Alabama actually has not had a starting quarterback miss a game due to injury since 2004. That was Brody Croyle, and Mark Gillen started in his place. So it's been a while when they've experienced adversity like this. Mac Jones obviously going to get the start this weekend. The only reason why I'm just slightly more optimistic than I was last year at this point with Tua's ankle injury is the fact that it's his right ankle, and it's a left-handed quarterback. Think about if you drop back and how vigorously you drop back. That left ankle would be the one that would actually be...
It's like, okay, he left-handed. and he do have to plant. He still have to drop back and plant and throw it. He got to make sure they're healthy, because what if he can't plant that foot and that ankle get re-injured, even though he has surgery on it? That's why you got to be concerned about it. He need that ankle. By him being a left-handed quarterback, he do plant with that foot. If he can't plant, what can you do about that? If they blitzing and he can't get away from the blitz, then you got to be concerned. That's why ain't no timetable on it, because he just had surgery and everything. It's 20 days away. What if that ankle ain't ready for in the 20 days when that big game come up? If he get in that game, he can't plant or escape. You gotta figure out something. What you gonna do? Let him sit down for a little minute until he really fully healed?
Under a little bit more strain. So it being a right ankle, it's a little bit easier to overcome, but still a problem nonetheless for the Tide.
All right, Greg, let's go to the slow healing scenario. Tua can't go against LSU. Obviously, the difficulty of beating the Tigers goes way up. How do they overcome that kind of thing?
No, it would take a monumental effort for Mac Jones. And frankly, right now, I look at LSU's defense, and they've been a little bit up and down. I think the biggest problem, frankly, if Tua's not at 100%, and throughout the course of the month of November, would be against Auburn, who has Derek Brown, an All-American candidate at defensive tackle, who can really push the pocket and might force Tua Tagovailoa, or whoever starting at quarterback for Alabama, might force them out of the pocket a little bit more often. So I think they can get by if Tua's not at 100% against LSU by being a stationary pocket passer, but I don't think he can do that against Auburn, where Tua, if he is able to go, is going to have to be a little more mobile, knowing that pass rush that Auburn has internally.
Let me quick follow up on the if he's not 100%. Like, at what percent do you go, it's worth the risk, and at what point do you go, listen, you got a pro career and you don't get to play Saturday?
From what I've been told, John, it cannot get worse. It is what it is, and it's purely pain management. So I'd put him out there no matter what, as I know he gives me the best chance.
All right, Greg, thanks, and I appreciate you holding off on that anchor down. You're a good man. Mac Jones, get to know me. Redshirt sophomore from Jacksonville, 4-star recruit in the 2017 class, so it's not like he's without ability. Never started a game in his college career, 237 passing yards in 6 games. Obviously, most of that is in garbage time from this season. They got defense and good players, too.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and for live streaming sports and premium